Every time my driver Jason sent me to the office, he brought his girlfriend along. Since we were all headed in the same direction, I never made a fuss. However, one morning, I opened the car door to see a note taped to my usual seat. No freeloaders allowed in this car. I tore the note off and turned to Jason. What's this supposed to mean? My driver's girlfriend glared at me from the front passenger seat and snapped, "Can't you read? You're always mooching rides off my boyfriend. Have you no shame? If you can't afford a ride, just stay home. People like you are the worst." I looked at my driver Jason completely baffled. He hurried over to me and lowered his voice to explain, "Miss Silva, my girlfriend doesn't know I'm a driver. She's pretty possessive. She only put up that note because she loves me. She's not comfortable riding in the same car with you. I'll take her where she needs to go first. Then I'll come back and pick you up." Then he got into my car and drove off. I stood there in silence, then pulled out my phone and dialed the police. "Hello, a man and a woman have taken my car without permission. I'd like to report a stolen vehicle." Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that someone would call me, the CEO of a publicly listed corporation, a freeloader, especially when the car they were accusing me of freeloading in was my personal car. 20 minutes after I made the report, a patrol car pulled up in front of me. The two officers had barely stepped out when Jason came speeding toward us in my black Maybach. He slammed on the brakes, jumped out, and hurried over. His face was drained of color. "Miss Silva, what's going on? Why did you call the police?" I looked at him, not saying a word. One of the officers gave him a once-over and asked, "Are you the man Miss Silva says took her vehicle without permission?" Jason immediately panicked when he heard that. No, officer, it's all a misunderstanding. I'm Miss Silva's driver. I drive her every day. I was just dropping someone off since it was on the way. It only took a few extra minutes. I didn't steal anything." He pointed at the Maybach with a nervous smile. "See? I brought the car right back as soon as I could." The officers exchanged a glance before turning to me. "Miss Silva, would you like to pursue this matter further?" I was about to answer when Jason suddenly leaned closer and pleaded in a hushed voice, "Miss Silva, for my father's sake, please don't do this. He drove for you for years. Please let me go just this once. You know he's in poor health. I finally found a girlfriend and all he wants is to see me settle down. I only did this because I didn't want to upset her. I really didn't have a choice." The moment he mentioned his father, my resolve softened. Mr. Lane had been my driver for 6 years. He was dependable, honest, and an exceptionally careful driver who never caused trouble. In those 6 years, he had never been late or broken any company rules, and he even hesitated to accept the holiday bonuses I always handed out. 3 months ago, he was diagnosed with a lung condition and had to resign so he could focus on long-term treatment. On his last day, he stood in my office, rubbing his rough, weathered hands together. He hesitated for a long time before finally asking, feeling embarrassed, whether the company could give his son, Jason, a chance. His son had just lost his job. Mr. Lane had spent his entire life never asking for favors. It was the first favor he had ever asked of me. Out of respect for him, I agreed. To be fair, Jason did a decent job during his first 2 months. Although Jason was not exactly the most reliable driver, he still did what he was supposed to do. He always picked me up and dropped me off on time, and he kept the car spotless. However, things started changing last month. One day when Jason